Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the 7th video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Code Vein. Now in the last video we made it all the way to the Big Bad Fortress area. Now before continuing in that area, I would highly recommend coming back to home base as we are going to acquire 2 new blood codes. We're finally able to obtain Rins, or Morisames. You'll just have to talk to her.
Do you know about hot springs? The earth I go. It's to make sure.
And that should get you the Hephaestus blood code. Now the next one you can also get is going to be from Jack himself. So if you come over and talk to him, he will eventually give you his blood code. But we're not quite done yet. There's one more blood code that we can obtain right now. And this is only obtainable after you have defeated all 4 of these successors. So what you're going to want to do is travel all the way back to the Cathedral of the Sacred Blood. I know it's a long ways to go, but right where you found Karen underneath is where you will find the blood code. Of course, I will show you. Alright, so as you will see at the Cathedral of Sacred Blood, you just have to run all the way down.
Let's make it another good day.
Slowly but surely. And as you will see right there on the ground will be the blood code. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Now one other thing I will mention is, like I've said before, eventually around the map there are going to be side characters that will give you optional quests that you can do to help them out. There is this research lady who goes to all of these successors and wants to try and interact with them. Doing so will get you a couple of new items found, or items you already have but are extras. As you'll see, she's outside. You basically talk to her, you'll then talk to the successor, which will then give you an item. You then go back and give it to the researcher. Pretty standard stuff. Probably the only one that's a little bit confusing is the one for the City of Falling Flame. It's best just to go to the area before that, right where you fought the Gilded Hunter boss, and then speak to her there, then warp all the way to the actual successor of the Claw. But now we're actually going to go to the area that we are here today, the Crypt Spire. Alright, as you will follow me, I will show you how to get all of the items and things and relics, and blood codes, and all that good stuff throughout this new area. Do note that most of the enemies in this area hit pretty hard, so unless you're high level like I am, I'm around 74, and my weapon is a +9. But starting off here, you'll grab this first item, then continuing on the main path.
Heading there now.
As you'll see, there is a bunch of enemies that are already taken out. You'll grab that stamp icon 3, and then continuing up the main path, here there's only one way to go. You don't need to defeat an enemy to unlock the ladder here, you just need to pull that lever. But from here coming up, you will find an item hidden along this wall. Then continuing along the main path, you'll find your next item right here, some insulating tonic. From here we will head to the left. And as you'll see over here, there is a item that we can grab.
Look at that.
Region extension. Once again, more healing. Who doesn't like more healing? Anyways, from here we're going to continue on and head to the right path. You'll pull the lever. Now if you come outside, as I'm sure you're aware, there is a ladder that you can take up, and this will lead you to a new blood code.
Sorry, I was
As you'll see right here,
Well, I guess that's
the
it.
warrior blood
All
code.
right, are you ready, squad?
From here we can continue along the main path. As you'll see, we'll head to the right first, as it is the optional path. Coming down here we can find our next
Davis said he wants one.
map of the depths.
Heading there now.
Then we can head up this ladder right here and grab some camouflage. From here we can now head to the main path.
Be there soon.
And along the way on the left side you'll find an item. Some Queen Titanium. If you're still struggling or didn't have some good drops in the previous area, this will easily make up for it. In this big room there aren't any enemies, however if you talk to this guy right here, the Lost will invade you and you'll have a couple of rounds of tough enemies. But from here you can follow this path. From here you're basically going to come over here to the left path. Follow this down. This will get you your first mapping of the area as well as your first shortcut, which is that ladder that was seen before that I didn't mention. From here we can now continue on to the left path. Following this up, we can find our next item right here. Then from here we can head inside, find our next switch to pull, and then right behind it we'll find a chest containing the silver garb +8, which I actually do think is a straight upgrade to what we currently have. At least overall physical, so I'm going to equip that now. Do note at any point in time if you want to switch your blood veil off, you can turn it on and off in the settings. So in this room here, you'll be surrounded by enemies that'll shoot at you, as
find
well as
something
some
good?
knights. A single knight, of course. He will drop the key that is necessary to go through the area right here. So continuing on the main path in this room right here, you'll find some more titanium. From here we're actually going to head up to the left. In here we will find some more titanium, and in this room here we will find a unique
We found something
vivifier
valuable
called
today.
Missile Root. I assume it's basically an infinite vivifier if you haven't invested in the actual blood code skill that acts as the same. But from here we can continue along the main
Heading
path.
there now.
Coming inside right here, inside one of
What's
these
that
containers,
doing
you'll
there?
find some fireproof tonic. And then if we come over here to the right, we'll find one of our first vestiges
do to
of the
Captain?
area, the Warrior Vestige Part A. Now from here we can follow the only path we can take, open up a door, and continuing on through, we'll head inside. Do be careful in this area as there are some pretty tough enemies. But like always, I believe in you guys. Here, continuing on, we can find our next item, expensive cigars. Now in this room here, we'll find some ichor concentrate and an elevator that will be another shortcut back down. For the sake of time, I'm just going to skip it. It's basically another ladder down below. Pretty simple and straightforward. So from here, we're actually going to turn to our right. We're going to come up here and grab this item right here. Don't know if that's supposed to be old world materials or not. Could be a monster drop. But up here we'll find some more titanium. Who doesn't like titanium? But now we can continue on to the main path. Now from here you basically have one path that you have to take. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to come up here. And you don't have to defeat the enemy up here, but right behind him on this ledge right here is going to be the key item that you need to grab. So afterwards you can just drop back down and then continue along the main path, although he might be chasing you. But from here you can then access this lever, no key item required, and grab that elevator, or sorry, that ladder. Now on the right side of the room we'll find our next vestige for the Hephaestus blood code. And now we can continue on up. We're almost there though. This is pretty much the end of the road. Up here we have one more lever to pull and then we'll be at the top. Now before heading into the elevator, if you swing around, there's 3 items you can grab. Some more titanium, a sushi taco, and then another Hephaestus vestige. And now we can make our way up and finally reach our second missile of the area. Do note this will also give us the mapping for the previous area we were just at. Scissor C just on the other side of the elevator.
I can relax both my mind and body here.
So from here we have a pretty tough boss fight, and that is going to be the blade bearer and the cannoneer boss. Best way I can describe this fight is if you played Dark Souls, Ornstein and Smough, but on crack. It's basically trying to figure out who is going to be attacking you and then fighting them. Whenever they switch aggro, you also switch aggro is the best way I've found to keep this pretty tame. This way your partner and you don't get overrun. Do note though that the blade bearer does take more damage overall. Whoops. Do note whenever she does this little combo, it is a 3-piece. Whenever you start seeing the blade bearer go after your partner, that is best whenever you should go after the cannoneer. Making sure that your partner also doesn't have to revive you will be best in the long run. Whichever one you can take out first is always going to be key here. As you'll see, whoever's left will go down fairly quickly. And just like that, one of the tougher bosses is down. Afterwards, you'll get the Blade Bearer and Cannoneer trophy. One setup I like using is the Blow of Madness and Flashing Fang. Both will increase your next attack, and then if you want to, you can also stack on top of that Adrenaline to overall increase your base damage. Both of these do stack on top of each other, so your overall damage output for the fight is pretty good. Now from here, we'll be moving on to the next boss fight.
We can still go after him.
So just up ahead is the next boss. Luckily, after defeating the Blade Bearer and Cannoneer, you are given the full restock of your healing and HP. What I would recommend doing is stacking on all of the good stuff, of course. As you'll see, our next fight is Juzo Mido himself. We'll want to wait to maximize damage. Also managing to keep our stamina is also key here. When he enters phase 2, we'll also buff ourselves. He'll activate these blood beads around us, and he'll also begin attacking.
Too slow.
As you can see, he's very aggressive during this phase. He can also inflict the inhibit status effect, so you can't use your abilities. That's okay though, we don't need them. But, just like that, we will have defeated Juzo Mido. You'll get the trophy for it. And then, like always, important cutscenes to skip. Things like that. Obviously, there is a big connection and spoiler if you care about that. But we will get his weapon, and we can now move on to the next area. So from here, you basically have two paths to take. One is down, one is up, but you can only take one of them for the time being, so we are going to be heading up. So just continue straight, and we will eventually lead to the next area. Like always, going to new areas, the game gets a bit choppy,
I'll be there
drops
soon.
some frames, all the loading and things of that good nature. Running through these areas makes me wish that we had something like this in real life. I enjoy the design, the architecture. There's not a lot of creativity in it, but it looks cool nonetheless. But eventually we will reach the next area.
something up above.
After climbing these 2 ladders, we will finally be back outside.
Sorry, I was looking at something. The ground is obstructed.
And we will finally made it to the
Time is short.
provisional government outskirts. But that is going to be the end of this video. Like I've said, I try to keep this to 2 bosses an episode.
How do
No
you
matter
like
the
exploring
area,
with
of
me?
course, short or long, I still try and do that. But as always, I do hope that this video has been helpful or informative in some way, shape, or form. I definitely know the cannoneer and blade bearer boss fight can be tough, especially if you don't know how to do it, and especially if you are doing it without a partner. I would highly recommend your first playthrough, at least when you're getting gifts and stuff like that and trying to get power, doing it with an AI partner, or if you're playing the game online, doing it with other people as well. You never know. But hopefully the info I used and said was informative in some way, shape, or form. It was just from my experiences when trying to do the fight and learning it. But as always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and I will see you all in the next one.